Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I want to talk about the top 9 books that I want to read in 2019. I did this for 2018 as well, and it's going well. I still have 2 more books to read, but I can do that in the month of December, no problem. And I wanted to pick 9 for 2019 because it's a good push to kind of pick up some books off my shelf that have just been sitting there for way too long, or books that I just keep meaning to get to and I never do. It's a good push to kind of get some of those books read. And so I have picked 9 that I would like to read this for 2019, and I'm excited about them. The first one I picked is actually kind of a classic, and it's a classic kind of a psychological thriller. It's kind of considered one of the first psychological thriller type of books, and that is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I have not read this book, but everyone pushes me to do it because I haven't read it yet, and I love, mysteries and, thrillers and stuff. And this is actually being made into a Netflix movie, and it's going to be starring Lily James. And so that really got me kind of excited about it, but I just read an article about that. And so that made me go, okay, I need to put that on my TBR for next year for sure, because I haven't read it yet, but if it's going to be a Netflix thing with Lily James in it, I'm definitely interested. And so this is going to be the first one on my list. The next one is another psychological thriller, and it is the last book by this author that has been published that I need to read, and that's Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. This is the only one of hers I have not read. And I haven't read it because when I do, that means I don't have any more Gillian Flynn to read, and it's going to make me a little bit sad. But I know she is currently writing another book. I just don't know when it's going to be coming out or anything like that. But she's talked about, she's currently writing something. So I'm just going to bite the bullet and do it though, because it's a little shameful that I haven't read this yet. And a lot of people have said they like this better than Gone Girl, which we'll see. I don't know about that because Gone Girl is one of my top 5 favorite books of all time, but we'll see. So this is definitely going to be going on my list. Speaking of books that are supposed to be really messed up, Badger by C.M. McKenna. Okay, I picked up this book because my sister told me about it, and her and I have pretty similar reading tastes, and I've read some from this author before, and I really liked it. She does write adult erotica books, and this one is supposed to be, not only an erotic book, but a thriller and just kind of really messed up, and that's my jam, and I'm kind of in the mood for something like that. So I'm going to put this on my 2019 list, and just literally every time I see it on my shelf, it kind of calls to me, and I'm just like, I really want to read that, and there's just something about it that, I can't wait to read it. So I'm going to finally do it. The next one is probably one of the books on my shelves that is kind of the most shameful that I haven't read yet. And that's Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, only because this is so incredibly popular. I feel like everybody on the planet has read this book except for me. So a little shame, a little reader shame going on with this one, but I'm definitely interested. I got it as a Christmas gift one year, so I really would like to go ahead and get it read and see what I think. And so because of that, it's on my list. And next, I'm going to put a Liane Moriarty book on my list because she's definitely an author I want to read a lot more from, and I have a lot of her books, so I kind of picked the one that was catching my interest more than the others, and that's The Husband's Secret. And this one is definitely catching my eye more because it is becoming a movie. I believe that Blake Lively is supposed to star in it, and this is kind of the one that when I see her books, like this is the one I think I want to read next. So it's on my list. Okay, let's talk about the hype train. I'm about to get on it. About to get on the hype train with this one because everybody and their dog is reading this book and absolutely loving it. So, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm going to put this on my list to read next year because everybody talks about this book. It's insane, and everybody loves it. I literally have not heard a negative review about this book from anybody. So, that makes me definitely intrigued and want to read it. And next, I picked one from probably one of my all-time favorite authors. It's hard to pick one, but she's up there. She's definitely up there as one of my favorite authors of all time. So I picked a Jodi Picoult, and I picked Small Great Things. And this one is one of her newer releases. It's not her most recent, but it has come out in the past year or two. And I've heard amazing, amazing things about it. This one is also becoming a movie, and it's going to have Julia Roberts and Viola Davis in it, which makes me very excited because I love both of those actresses. And I think it's going to make for this topic of a movie very good. And so this one follows a white family and a Black nurse. The family comes in delivering a baby, but they are white supremacists and absolutely have requested that this nurse not even touch their baby. But of course, something happens in the middle of the night where if she doesn't touch the baby's going to die. So it's that moral dilemma, you know, do I adhere to their wishes and this baby's going to die? Or do I say, screw their wishes and I'm going to save this baby's life? So it's kind of one of those things. And I'm sure it's going to be all over the place and it's going to be super emotional and it's going to challenge everything, which is what Jodi does. So this is definitely the next Jodi book I want to read. This next one is going to catch up on a series for me. And this is book number 5 in this series. And it's one that I pre-ordered. So I have had it since the release date and I just haven't read it yet. And that's Origin by Dan Brown. I have really, really loved the Robert Langdon series. And every time I read one, it's just really good and I've really enjoyed them. So I wanted to go ahead and read the next installment. I don't know if this is the final one, but you know, his books are kind of coming out every few years. So it's taking a long time for him to write them. So I'm not sure if he's like working on another one or not. We don't really know. They kind of get announced a little bit last minute. So but this would catch me up on a series, so I'm putting it on my list. And for the final book that I would like to read in 2019, I decided to go with a nonfiction because I definitely need a push to read nonfiction. It needs to be something that I'm definitely interested in for me to even read it, but I still need that push. Just because it's nonfiction, it's not, you know, a normal format that, you know, fiction is written in. So it's, you know, whatever. But the one that I decided to put on my list for this year is for a very specific reason, and that's Helter Skelter. And this is the true story of the Manson murders by Vince Bugliosi and Kurt Gentry. And the reason I decided to put this on my list for 2019 is because in August, it will be the 50th anniversary of when these murders occurred. These murders occurred in August of 1969. So 2019 will be 50 years. So I thought that would be the perfect time to read about all these things. This one scares me a little bit because I think it's going to scare me. I think it's going to creep me out and scare me and, you know, just give me the heebie-jeebies. But it's definitely one I want to read. It is a true crime book, and I definitely have been more into true crime lately, that I just really have been craving reading things about true crime, you know, happenings that have happened in our country or anywhere. And this was definitely on the top of my list to read because Charles Manson was a crazy person. So I would like to read this and see exactly, like, you know, more details about what happened. I know the basic story, but, you know, getting into the actual case of everything. And so 50 years later, it's on my TBR. Okay, guys, that is it. Those are 9 books that I am planning to read in 2019. Let me know down below, guys, if you have any priorities that you're looking at for 2019. Do you have any books that are kind of, you know, high up on your list that you want to read for the year? I would love to know that. Please let me know down below if you've read any of these. Let me know what I should read first, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day.